good afternoon, Texas and Virginia,
Nor- North Carolina.
North Carolina. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's very close, though.
Yeah,
Thought you
very
were in
close.
Virginia too.
I used to live in Virginia. Now I'm in Holden Beach, North Carolina.
Cool.
Well, there you go. That's why I thought that.
Yep.
For those that don't know our guest, we have Wanda Seitz, and Wanda Seitz is a board member for the IPA board of directors, and she's been in the iridology business for a long time, but she's been on the board for a long time. She took a little break. Now she's back. So we want to welcome her
Yeah,
to iridology around the world. And Chris, you are around the world today, aren't you?
I am. I'm in Bulgaria, and it's about
Oh,
11 p.m. and I'm teaching a first IPA Bulgarian class.
Oh, good on you. Good on you.
wonderful.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and I've got a
Well,
fantastic translator, so it's all going really well.
oh, excellent.
Mm,
Excellent. Well, Chris,
mm.
do you want to ask Wanda our first question?
I do. Because Wanda, I want to know how long you've been an iridologist.
How long I've been an iridologist? Oh my goodness. Well, I guess it was 2000 when I started taking it serious. Before that, I started around 92, but it was just for my family, myself, family, friends. And then I started, studying professionally to help clients around 2000. So I guess it's been 24 years now. Yeah, long time.
Wow, that's
That's a
fantastic.
long time. Yeah. Well, Wanda, who inspired you to get into iridology in the first place?
What? Well, I guess really my son, because in 92, that was around the time, he had a lot of ear infections and allergies and so forth. And then the teachers and the principal started pushing me to the key word at the time, is your son medicated for ADD and so forth, so on. So I was pressured into that by the school system. And yeah, I did put him on some medication for ADD. Well, within a week of doing that, he started having hallucinations. He was laying in bed screaming that there was snakes on the ceiling and spiders all in his bed. Well, the next day I took him back to the doctor and I said, look, he's having hallucinating with this medication. Doctor said, oh, that's normal. I'll put him on something to help him sleep. I was shocked. I was shocked. I went and I sat in the car and I just cried. I just cried. I'm like, this cannot be happening. Well, before that, I was, I've always looked into herbs and different things for myself, but, I'm not going to try that on my son. Well, that was the breaks right there. I went home. I started researching. I threw out all the junk. I brought in a huge trash can, started throwing out all the Doritos and the Oreos and the cereals and just all the junk in the house. My husband came home from work and he's like, what's going on? Have you lost your mind? And I'm like, no. And I started talking to him about all this stuff I'd been researching, about candida and parasites and cleansing and herbs and he point blank asked me if I had joined a cult. So it was so funny. But after I explained it to him, he was kosher with that. So, I put my son on a cleanse myself from the information that I have. Of course, I should have went to a professional, but I didn't know of a professional. And, I started looking into iridology. I met this lady, she was an herbalist. She helped me out a lot. She had no formal training, but she had read up on, Bernard Jensen iridology, and she was a old school herbalist. She was had Indian in her her heritage. So, she had things from her grandmother and grandfather, so forth. So she helped me out a lot with the herbs and things. And, she was looking into his eyes and telling me things. And I was just fascinated. I was like, you can tell all that by the eyes? And she's like, oh, yes, honey. you know. And within about 2 weeks, I mean, he was great. His teacher asked me, she said, well, I guess you got his medication straight. I was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. We took him off everything 2 weeks before. So the rest of his school year, or the school till he graduated. They thought he was medicated. No, this happened in the second grade. So it was really my son who inspired me, and I looked elsewhere for help. And my friend, she introduced me to Jensonian iridology. So of course I started studying everything I could get my hands on with iridology. So, and it just always fascinated me what you can tell by looking at the eye. And then when I found out about comprehensive iridology, I started looking into that more, and then the personality iridology. Like this whole world just opened up to me. So, I mean, that's really how it got started with me. And then well, it was around 99, 99, I started looking into, hey, if I can help my family and friends with this, I can help lots of people. So I started my formal training with iridology, herbology, and became a naturopath in 2000.
Great. Fantastic. That's a
Mouthful,
long
I'm
time.
sorry.
What an inspiring story. And I'm sure you've changed your son's life by doing all that. But Wanda, I wanted to know that out of all those years you've studied, what's your favorite sign?
Favorite iridology sign. I really like string jewels. Yeah, I really like to work
Mm,
with string jewels. I'm a string jewel. So it's nice to work with other people or to interact with other people who understand me. You know, um,
mm.
I'm very straight to the point. I interrupt a lot. So when I'm working with other people who interrupt me, I totally understand it. So I really like
Yep.
string jewels.
Oh, awesome. Great. Me too, actually. Okay. So, Kathy, I think it's time to play a little game.
It is, yes. I've enjoyed that. Um,
Yeah.
Wanda, pick a number between 1 and 36, and we're going to give you a mystery question.
Oh, no, 36. Let's go for it with 36.
36. Let
Yep.
me find
Ooh.
you a question. Oh, I got one right here. I got one right here. It's a good one.
Oh,
Um,
goodness.
Always is.
how do you use iridology with other services or therapies in your practice?
Um, well, for me, I think a practitioner needs more than one modality. So for me, I use iridology, sclerology, iridology, physical or comprehensive, as well as behavioral, because they go hand in hand. A person may come to you with physical symptoms that are caused by emotional issues, with their parent or grandparent or so forth. So you have to look at the body as a whole. I use sclerology because that helps us tell what's going on now, an issue that may be acute right now or something that is in the past that we do not need to address specifically right now. And then I use RBTI, or Reen's biological theory of ionization. That is a saliva and urine test that tells the chemistry of the body. And they all work together to verify each other. You see something with iridology, and then that can be verified with sclerology and also with RBTI. So if you can verify it with the three different modalities, you're on the right track for that person. So those are just my
Yeah.
choices.
Yes, yes. Chris, what do you do?
I was gonna say I totally agree because I use iridology, I use tongue analysis, I use sclerology, and I really like the flag system. So I like it when our body when there's an area we need to focus on our body, I feel that the body gives us signs, whether that's in our eyes, sclera, etc. And I believe that when like if I walked past your house and you had one flag up in the front of your house, I wouldn't really notice it too much. But if you had two flags up, like let's say you see a sign in the iris and a sign in the sclera, you think, oh, well, she's a bit weird. What's happening here? But if you had three flags up, like let's say you had, a sign in your tongue as well as your sclera, as well as your iris in the same area, that's that I'm going to really notice that. And I feel that that's the way our body our body sort of gives us clues about what to really focus on. So that's how I use it, and then I use my herbs and my homeopathy and my Bowen therapy to actually do the treatments. But that's kind of how I use iridology and other things to see what to focus on first.
The body truly does communicate. It tells you what
Absolutely.
you
It's so
need to do.
it's
You just need to listen.
it's so wise.
Yep.
And we think a
Absolutely.
lot of times that a headache is just a headache, but it's a sign that's leading
Yeah.
us to pay attention to our body. So, just like you guys, I do the same thing. I do the same thing with iridology. I do the same thing with sclerology, but I incorporate a little bit of foot reflexology into that. And so I'll tell a lot of my clients, let's look at your eyes first, and then
Nice.
we'll look at your feet, and then we'll compare notes. And there's a lot of comparison that goes on. So
I love it.
I work from one end to the other. Well, this has been fun, Wanda.
Nice.
We've
I love
enjoyed
it.
talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me. This is wonderful. Yep, I love you guys.
You are welcome. We love you
Yeah,
too.
we love you too, Wanda.
And just keep doing what you're doing because you're making a difference for
And so
iridologists
are
out
you
there and
too.
your clients.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Thanks so
with that, I
much.
think we'll just wrap it up and call it a day.
Yeah.
And we'll see everybody later.
Bye,
Enjoy
everyone.
Carolina. Bye.
Thank you.